GIO Australia race cam. Up come the engine revs. Watch this dice to the first corner. Jones creeps a little bit. Brock breaks into wheel spin. That's AJ's day off the line. And Trevor Ashby. Beautiful start there. The privateer and the Lansvale Smash Revere's Commodore. Brocky tries to come back. Ashby attempts to squeeze down the inside there. And John Bowe up very smartly too in the Shell FAI Falcon into the right-hander and across to the left-hand side of the road for the next turn.
Well, thanks to that shortened race in Heat 1, Trevor Ashby finds himself amongst the top 3 in the Shell Australia Touring Car Championship. Phillip on this afternoon. Great start from Trevor. Really trounced him off the second row. He pushes his way up to third as they shuffle through the back of the pack up toward Hunter Corner for the first time.
Well, Brocky lost that start. Doesn't do it too often, but that was one where Alan Jones got a superb. Just got it right. Well, feathered the clutch and not too much wheel spin.
Certainly making up for it here. Trevor Ashby coming under fire from first of the Shell FAI cars and the second Peter Jackson car there. Glenn Seton in there too, so it should be a strong run from these guys. There's the train, Tony Longhurst, and I believe Neil Crompton or Wayne Gardner up there too.
A dry racetrack will certainly be appreciated by all the drivers if it stays dry for the entire race. There's Trevor Ashby as Glenn Seton gets by him. And Dick Johnson will have to come through from the back of the field. He's been pinged for doing 2 observation laps and changing tyres. Here they come down the inside. Jones says, nah, I won't fall for that one. Yes, that was in the first heat, so the officials, as we understand it, have given Dick a fine and put him to the rear of the field for this one, for 2 observation laps and not 1. Coming in to reel off the first. Alan Jones, our ex-Formula 1 champion, leads Peter Perfect. Onto the front chute here at Phillip Island. John Bowe is back in 3rd place, but Jones actually skedaddles away from them under the Dunlop Bridge and down into the right-hander.
They are flying down here past. We're right here, the closest to the track that we get at most circuits. And the thunder from these V8s as they pass us in front of the main straight.
This will be interesting. Glenn Seton and John Bowe. Not too much love lost between these two. And actually, not a lot lost between Glenn and Dick Johnson, for that matter. But the fastest speed hump at Phillip Island is on the move through the pack.
Brock looks left, looks right, putting on Alan Jones under a lot of pressure. May have been a lock break there. As Jonesy sees the HRT car coming a bit closer.
He's psyching him, and he's definitely working him over. He got a better jump out of that corner.
Working him over. Look at the exit speed out of Honda, but Jones come back on the inside, gives him a little nudge to know he's still in business. So Brock leads him up out of Siberia up toward Lukey Heights for the second time. John Bowe in 3rd position, and Glenn Seton the second of the Peter Jackson cars in 4th.
You're right, Alan, what you said earlier. When the cars actually come past our broadcast box, which is at pit level here, the whole room shakes with these cars.
Noise is superb.
Brock, Jones, Bowe, Seton.
Tony Longhurst behind this leading quartet has also taken Ashby, so Longhurst moves up to 5th.
John Bowe, the lone Dunlop Ranger here in a Bridgestone sandwich. Doing well. 3rd spot there.
And Brock, the lone Holden Ranger against this roaring pack of Fords. 1 Commodore and 4 Falcons bearing down on him.
Yes, the General. 3 Henrys.
260 plus. They are flying. The scenic background is discounting the speed of these cars. Believe me, they are really flying there through that first right-hander. Down into Southern Loop. Pacific Ocean in the background.
Neil Crompton heads into the pits, so he has a problem. And the Wayne Gardner Coca-Cola crew are there. Understeer, as we understand, a problem with that.
Tyres waiting to go on Coke number 7. Frustrating day for Neil. Found himself as high as 2nd place in that first heat.
Once again, they come in to reel 1 more off. We're following the scrap here for 3rd place, John Bowe and Glenn Seton. Peter Brock took command for a while. Jones has stretched it out again as he goes across the line.
Look at the tremendous exit speed that Seton's come out of that corner. He's right behind Bowe. He's actually alongside Bowe.
Nailed him.
And he's nailed him. Very good exit onto the main straight that time for Seton. You can just see it out of the edge of your screen. He's right up behind Bowe's car and used all that exit speed and all those extra revs down the straight to take advantage. So he moves up to 3rd position now with Brock, the meat in the Peter Jackson sandwich.
Well, we mentioned before that the Dunlop factory was obliterated in the Kobe earthquake. It has to hurt them sooner or later, and today's the day. This weekend is when it has hurt them. And John Bowe, looking at 3 Bridgestone cars in front of him, knows that the war has been lost today.
Well, full credit to Dunlop too, fighting back in this situation. A global regroup, if you like, moving production to the UK. They're just running, this is the first time they've run the UK built tyres in competition. And Dunlop, let's say there's more compounds and more constructions on the way. So they really are fighting back hard and just hanging in there for John Bowe's sake. He was still looking very much like championship material in 95.
He's got a nice lead, and he'll be very wise to get the best finish he can here today without endangering himself.
The Seton team is absolutely incredible at Phillip Island. They have a perfect win record in V8s here. And you would have thought coming into this meeting, the horsepower advantage that Dick Johnson's team seemed to enjoy in the Falcons has been more than neutralised by the Seton team. AJ leads it, PB is second.
Look at the mid-corner speed of that car. It is phenomenal. It's just what he did to Bowe last time. He spiffs them up. He's into the draft behind 05, and he'll pull out again. 260 kilometres an hour as they come down to turn 1, but Brock has him covered. Seton has to tuck in for turn 1, sorry, as they head down toward turn 2 and fight another day. But these cars very evenly matched, as you can see.
And for the benefit of our international viewers, 180 miles an hour, that's not exactly malingering around.
Brock had a bit of a moment there. He got a bit of a wiggle, and Seton's been able to capitalise. They'll go side by side up toward Honda corner. Brock just a little tap of the brakes as Seton squeezes him and says, not down there, fella.
He did get squeezed there. That was a little cheeky, but nevertheless, Rocky knew it was coming.
And he had the experience to back off, not try and hold his territory, because he knew there's still a lot of laps to go. Only 5 laps into this contest. So Brock's still very much on the warpath.
Yeah, about quarter distance, 22 odd laps, if we don't see another red flag here in the second heat. These blokes have got their bit between their teeth now. They'll be settled in nicely. And certainly Glenn Seton will want to do well. We'd love to see his teammate in front of him. The 2 beautifully prepared Peter Jackson cars on their home turf. Head office in Melbourne. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, well, as Mike said before, they expected some dominance from these 2 teams. It is their nominated test track, Holden Racing Team and Peter Jackson Racing. They do a lot of work around here, not only with the cars, but with Bridgestone tyres and testing, so you'd expect they do very well. And that testing form is certainly showing here today. First, second and third. First, the Dunlop runners, Johnny Bowe in 4th, Wayne Gardner behind him. Good run from Gardner in 5th. Longhurst, Johnson, Perkins, Skaife and Ashby.
Alan Jones, car number 35, really honking it through that right-hander and up to the left-hander. Time to check them out where they're running on the racetrack in our Shell race score. Alan Jones, the leader. Teammate Glenn Seton runs in second. Peter Brock is back to third. John Bowe is fourth. And Wayne Gardner up to fifth. He's having a great day. Hope you're enjoying the action. We'll be back in a minute.
To dictate his corner speed by who's in front of him. Tremendous view here from Dunlop Race Cam. Here we come up to the right-hander at Honda. A little bit of a smoke up there from Wayne Gardner in front. Still hard to judge the braking with the damp circuit.
Here he goes.
Here's a stab.
Down under. So Dick's done a lot of good work from the back of the field.
Yes, always a pity to get pinged and relegated to the rear of the pack. But
trouble here for John Trimble on the Planet. We're going to show you a little more of the Phillip Island circuit.
Are we ever?
Out the front of Larry Perkins' car as he dives down on the inside of Tony Longhurst.
This is the all-Castrol battle, the 7th and 8th position. I think that Larry has just snuck through on the inside of Tony, yes indeed. And Mark Skaife in there too. So Skaife really has joined this battle. This is 6th, 7th and 8th.
Well, under dry conditions, it's showing that the Yokohama teams are still suffering a bit. They're great competitors, and they work very hard at getting what's required. But even with their difficult selection this weekend, Larry's Dunlops have come through and passed 2 Yokohama cars.
Yeah, the Winfield boys are finding it very, very tough in 95, particularly getting some consistency out of the car. Simmons Plains was a mystifying experience for them, why the car just wouldn't cut the laps that they did down there last year with an identical setup and on the identical tyre. Good run at Bathurst, but here again mystified in qualifying just where the speed's gone. There really are a lot of head scratching going on at Winfield at the moment.
Oops.
Someone in trouble there.
Heard a squeal and we saw the smoke.
And Skaife sneaks through, but Tony takes advantage. Wayne Gardner.
That was just too much smoke to be a little bit of a brake lock-up. Wayne got her a little bit wide there.
And that's a great shame. He was running in 5th position there, very competitively placed, and he's put it off on the grass. I'm not sure if he's
trying to restart.
He just fired. Let's have a look at a replay and see exactly what happened.
He's done it all on his own. It's like he's locked up, or
He's gone in a bit too fast by the look of it, and realized at the last minute he had to slow her down a bit. Ran out of real estate and he's paid the penalty.
They're coming up behind Tony Scott to put a lap on him. I think he's really concentrating.
You could see the concentration on him. Like he really was determined to do well. He knows that every point is hard fought in this championship, and being such competitors, both him and John Bowe, they don't want to throw a weekend away. He is. Look at him pulling that gear lever through, slam her up.
Well, he was 5th in the championship coming into this round, so he has got some sort of title aspirations, no doubt. A long way down from teammate John Bowe.
Well, there's only, I think, what is about 9 seconds or something, the difference? John Bowe, car number 18, still running 4th on the road. And an up and down day with Seton setting the pace in qualifying, and then Bowe pulling the front row for the dash, and that gave him 3 more points. It was a nice howdy-do for him.
Actually, under difficult conditions, John Bowe has really scraped a good earning out of this weekend, and provided he stays here now, his overall tally won't be that bad. It'll keep the jump on the aspirants that have come up today. Glenn can certainly use the 20 points. That'll help him along nicely. But John Bowe has taken the jaws out of defeat, and given himself a pretty good day's earnings.
Well, every now and again they have one of these championship seasons, don't they, Alan? Like he took the punt on the harder tyre of Simmons and it paid off. He went into the kitty litter of Bathurst and managed to get out and fought his way through to 2nd place. Here at a track they didn't expect to go well, he's pulled up some more points. Like he's really putting together one of those championship years.
Yes, and being almost half distance next weekend. The next round at Lakeside will be halfway. He's got a handy margin on his nearest competitor.
Well, the gap was 104 points over Larry Perkins and 79 points when they came to the Phillip Island circuit this weekend. So this little point score lap on top of that, the difficulties Larry had with no score in the first heat, and coming back into the top 10 in the second, that's a good position for JB.
Also been following the progress after losing a cylinder this morning, Larry Perkins. How does this one sound, Larry?
Oh, she's real good. No problems at all. I can't really know a thing about it.
Well, come on, pull your finger out.
Well, I'm panting and puffing and I'm flat out. I'm sliding and I'm slipping, but I think he's getting away.
Couldn't be. That's a FORD, isn't it?
Oh, well, sometimes they're better.
I'll record that. All right, I'll let you get on with this. This is fascinating.
Thank you.
No, you can't continue. You're right. I'll talk to you later.
Righto.
We were talking about concentration there earlier. Listen to Larry. He's puffing and he's coaxing it around. A lot of people think, oh, these guys are laid back. Look the way Dick Johnson lies back. Looks like he's in a chaise lounge. These fellows really are working their backsides off, and they come out at the end of the race with their head that feels like it's been through 15 sauna baths, just mentally exhausted.
Paul Romano, car number 24, runs 9th in the field. Another one of the outstanding young privateers, the son of Bap Romano, top sports car racer and well known in Australian motorsport. There goes young Paul. Hasn't put a dent on the car. He's been in every round, and David Adhart is only a spot back behind him in the Outcare car. There he goes. 2 youngsters with a very bright future. And you do see privateers come in. They only last sometimes for a couple of races and they're gone again. These guys are committed to running the series.
Yeah.
And haven't they been outstanding? They've made a significant contribution to the championship this year.
They really have. And David Attard with a bit of sports sedan background to give him a workover there, looking a little, speaking of workover, that bonnet's had a workover.
Bit of damage there.
But he's brought his L-car machine through very, very nicely, as Mike has said.
Well, it's the classic privateer's effort, isn't it? The car prepared by Bobby Tyndall, the very popular New South Wales sports sedan racer, sponsored by Johnny Alcorn, the Al behind Al Care Company. And not a lot of money, but very enthusiastic team, and tremendous driving from David Attard. In most of the rounds this year, he's been running in or near the top 10.
You can do a lot with Zeal. You do need a little cash occasionally to lace it up, but Zeal will carry you a long way.
Still third on the road, Peter Brock, 05, chasing those two Peter Jackson Falcons. There's Brocky.
Gap has just brought it down to just over 5 seconds, but he's cutting faster laps than the two cars in front of him, only by 3 or 4 tenths of a second. But maybe he went for this harder compound Bridgestone, the second set that he's using here. Maybe it's just showing an edge as the track temperature maybe goes up a fraction or the surface dries out.
Probably what it has hurt him a bit. He's had the durability, but just being such a cold day hasn't given him an even break. And tires obviously not working at their very optimum. And whatever Glenn and Jonesy are on have just given them. He's not that far behind. They don't want to slip back further than that. We've only got 4 laps to go, but he might be getting a false sense of security there. Glenn and Alan Jones could be running just as fast as they need to, but this is the type of guy you don't want in your rearview mirror too clearly. You
can see Rocky's really driving the wheels off this thing. He's using every inch of the track, cutting very clean, very fast laps as he tries to track down these two leading forwards. Lone Holden representative there, John Bowe behind him, Johnson. So Brock running alone amongst the forwards at this stage. He's brought it down 4.32 seconds the gap the last time around, so Brock is on a very big charge here at lap 19 of a 22-lap race. Still got time, Alan?
Well, depending on just how cozy the two in front are doing it, I suspect they are relatively under control. It don't appear to be nothing that seems to be bothering them, and I think if Peter was about 3 car lengths closer, he could be much more of a threat, but he's not in the slipstream now, so he's still got to work very hard to get any advantage there. And to get by 2 of them, he might get by 1 of them if he was on their back bumper car, although he's got the hardest one to get by.
Well, the only difference, I believe, from practice is the Falcons are running the same hard compound tyre that Brock's running, only on the rear they've got a softer front tyre, so maybe that's starting to cost them a little bit. We shall see. The time's still in the 37-second bracket. Jones is just ducked into the 36s, and Brock very, very quick here. He's taking 3 or 4 tenths out of them a lap.
I think time may well beat him at this stage.
Yes, lap 19. Yep. Still, it's a tough call.
So this will be completing 20 with 2 laps to go when they come across the start-finish line this time around.
Still gassing them up as they come down the straight here at Phillip Island. Seton will sleep soundly tonight.
Oh, they do sound strong.
Well, these guys have really needed this points haul this week. Glenn Seton, before they came to Phillip Island, had just 42 points and was 7th in the championship, a most unlikely position. His teammate Alan Jones back in 12th in the championship title chase. So very, very important day for Glenn here.
This will bump them up, and certainly whatever developments they've achieved here, which are visible to anyone watching, they don't lose them. They can take this to Lakeside and hopefully be top contenders there, even though it is the Shell area backyard. Being able to test whatever circuit you've nominated as your test circuit is a tremendous advantage for any team. You've got to have it. The more the practice, the luckier you get. And these blokes have certainly worked hard here, and they've worked hard on their engines to just reach that gap that the Shell team had on them last round at Bathurst.
They head to the top of the hill.
These two are looking very comfortable.
Come round and get the last lap board the next time. Seton, who got out by a couple of car lengths a few laps back. There's Larry, who had a little moment on the exit of that corner. Tony Longhurst behind him, so the two Castrol boys have done a pretty good job. Larry changing a motor. Tony Longhurst looking super earlier today.
Last lap.
Downhill, listen to Glenn Seton, Alan Jones.
Capped that time down to 3.3 seconds to Brock in third position, but it just looks very much like they're just easing off enough to...
I think they've got it.
Tantalise the Holden boys.
I think Peter's decision was no doubt the best one he could make, or he did make, and just not quite enough time for him to gobble up these leaders like he's done on previous occasions on the harder compound. Look at that, right to the edge of the road. They're still not wasting it. They know who's behind them. They're not feeling too comfortable, I wouldn't think. Imagine.
There's the gap. You can see it. Back to Peter Brock. He's been consistent. These boys have been superb here today.
They will feel very pleased with their developments, Mike, because really to translate this onto a Bathurst pattern, they'll be looking at their maps tonight for sure and saying, yes, that will work, that'll work, and that'll work. And just a nice morale booster for a team that hasn't had the best of runs in the first 3 rounds.
We're coming up now to the final corner. And Glenn Seton, the man who has been fastest at Phillip Island since practice started here on Friday. Alan Jones right behind them. They're coming in for a fast form finish for round 4 of the championship. It's Seton. Second place to Alan Jones. So a 1-2 to the Peter Jackson team, and Peter Brock a very deserving 3rd place. Wow, that opens the scene up for Lakeside Raceway on Sunday, April 23. Should be quite a war up there. Let's check them out now on our race score, our Shell race score, as Glenn Seton acknowledges the crowd. Seton the winner. Alan Jones, his Peter Jackson teammate, finishes in 2nd. Peter Brock 3rd. John Bowe got up to 4th, and Dick Johnson from the back of the field up to 5th. Mark Skaife finished in 6th. Larry Perkins, a good job, in 7th. Tony Longhurst, the second of the Castrol entries, in 8th. Wayne Gardner finished 9th, and the privateer Paul Romano rounds out your top 10.